would disagree with that and call me all these names, most dangerous anti-Semite. I'm not even an anti-Semite, and they're not doing that to you because this is my view, and it's not necessarily your fault. But because they're like, Fuentes discredits the reasonable people because he's always banging on about the Jews, and so he makes everyone else look like a Nazi. And so it's like he's playing a pretty valuable role in the same way that Israel's always funded extremism throughout the Middle East, including Hamas, because it discredits the reasonable people.
So how'd they get some people on board, like maybe with some negative connotations toward what some consider to be Jewish? Is that the Jehovah's Witness things? Remember back in the 90s when the Clintons were pulling a lot of that shit and people were trying to expose the vaccines? Yeah, the AIDS pandemic, hoax, vaccines causing cancer. Yeah, and they completely covered it up. And they made vaccines to prevent the cancers being caused by their vaccines. Yeah, and people fell for it. They were injecting it into teenagers left and right. Right, so remember around that time, out in the town I was in of Whitefield, Maine, where there's a lot of cartel drug activity. I think the FBI or somebody, one of those groups, just busted some fentanyl operations and illegal growing operations out there associated to probably Mexicans and Chinese, huh? Yeah, they usually gang up with the kids of those kind of races, so when the shit hits the fan, they can blame it on them. Right, so around that time, a lot of the locals, well-to-do people, started homeschooling, and some new people moved in town. Yeah, all the Jehovah's Witnesses, it seems, they all started homeschooling. So maybe that's where some of the Jewish stuff comes in when you start getting into like the Letterman and Stern affairs and those media lines. Yeah, there's a few. I mean, I'm not picking on them. There's quite a few. I'm just using that as one of the examples. Right, so maybe that's where some of the original kind of negative connotations comes. Watch out for, seems to be some common denominators with some of the spying and investigations, people doing good things, getting the criminals. Yes, I know. So that could be where that comes from. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, exactly.
That's a fact.
Yeah. Well, I would just say I disagree. I mean, because you said the other day, they like me. I don't know what you're talking about when you say that, because let me just kind of rebut that.
I'm not saying you have anything to do with this. I'm just saying I noticed the phenomenon.
Totally, and I just reject that because they have been messing with me for my entire adult life. I mean, the ADL got me banned on YouTube. The SPLC posted my house on their website.
What do you mean posted your house?
They posted a photo of my house on their website.
How can they do that?
I guess that's a free speech thing.
The SPLC posted a picture of your house on their website?
Yes.
When?
In 2022.
Actually?
Yes, they wrote an article. They said Nick Fuentes bought a building in this city, and they said we interviewed his neighbors and property records reveal this and that, and on the front page, the picture for the article is my house where I live.
That's crazy. And then someone showed up with a gun and tried to kill you at that house?
Yes. So that's why I say, you say, well, they're not doing this to you. It's like the ZOA, the SPLC, the ADL.
So oftentimes when there's people doing stuff behind the scenes too, some bad people may have already targeted his house, not in the public stream. Right, these people don't work on social media, Right, so when they're already tagging people with some pretty dangerous loops that probably would have carried out the act and not just been a stunt simulation. Who knows? They can get crazy people to do that stuff all the time too. It's not that hard to pay someone. Go here, carry a weapon, wield it around, say this name. Yeah, they do it all the time. Right, and then they're just going around arresting these crazy people. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, huh? But yeah, oftentimes, yeah, if they're targeting you in some darker streams that you don't see, they'll put it out in the public sphere to let people know, and that might get you extra protection. Yeah, they shine a light on it. That's usually what makes it harder for them to carry out those things. That's why when it comes down to it, they just hope to find some crazy people and make them hate you some way or another. And it's your fault that they lost their job or their drugs got cut off. They fear you because you're a non-vaxxer. Crazy Karen, fascist. I mean, as you can see, yeah, interesting.